Wednesday morning, March 25th, 2026. Buddha in part 4 of chapter 18.6, Ways of Developing Concentration, from page 1860 to page 1869. We are going to cover 18.6H, 18.6I, and 18.6J. And we're going to leave off on 18.6J, and we will pick up tomorrow on 18.6J2. But 18.6H, finding a fixed abode. 18.6I, general practice of meditation, concentration. 18.6J, mindfulness of breathing as an example of meditation practice. The first part is special attributes of mindfulness of breathing. And so 18.6H, page on 1860, finding a fixed abode. To live in a temple, a monastery, or a wat, as they call in Southeast Asia, suitable for meditation practice. Ideally, one should live in the same monastery as one's teacher. But if this is inconvenient, one should find a residence that is suitable and supportive to meditation. The commentaries mentions 18 unfavorable places or dwellings which the following features. It is large, a monastery which monks have divergent interests and opinions, in which there are many troubles, and which is not peaceful. It is new, a monastery which one gets caught up in the building projects. It is dilapidated, and it requires a lot of upkeep. It is next to the road where there are many visitors. It has a stone-lined pond where many people congregate. It contains plants with edible leaves. It contains flowering bushes. It contains fruit trees. In the case that these last three factors, people will likely be a disturbance. By, say, cutting flowers or asking for fruit. It is a famous monastery. People believe that there's an exceptional monk residing here and will gather in large numbers. It is near a city. It is situated amongst timber trees. It is near fields. It is near where people work. The monastery contains incompatible, troublesome people. It is near a pier or transport station. It is in a remote area where people have no faith in Buddhism. It is on the frontier between two powerful nations. It may be dangerous. It is unsuitable for features. It contains disturbances. It is absence from virtuous companions. An appropriate monastery or dwelling contains 5 attributes. The first attribute is it is neither too close nor too far. It is convenient to come and go. The second attribute is during the day it is not crowded. During the night it is not noisy. The third attribute is it is free from biting insects, intrusive creatures, and extreme weather conditions. The fourth aspect, it is a place where one does not lack the 4 requisites. The fifth aspect, there is an elder residing there who is well versed in the Dhamma and is able to offer guidance. To dispel minor worries and concerns regarding one's body and one's everyday personal belongings, to allow these things to disturb the mind. For example, one gives attention to shaving, clipping one's nails, sewing and dyeing one's robes, and keeping one's lodging clean. 18.6I, general practice. In regard to practicing a specific technique, the technique has unique details and methods of practice. It is possible, however, to give a general outline for the development of concentration. One such outline found in the Dipitaka is the classification into 3 stages of training, the Titso Sika, in the training or development. We have Parikama Bhavana, the initial development. Then we have Upachara Bhavana, access concentration development. Appana Bhavana, attainment concentration development. Before describing these 3 stages of development, it is important to explain the Pali language term nimitta. A nimitta is a mental sign used for concentration, or it is a mental image representing the object used in meditation. There are 3 such signs classified in order as levels of achievements. The first is parikama nimitta. This is a preparatory or initial stage. Any object that is used as the factor of concentration, for example, to gaze at a kasina, a disc, to focus on the breath, a candle, or to reflect on the Buddha's virtues and to recognize that some of these virtues exist in one's mind. The second is ukaha nimitra, meaning a learning sign, a sign taken up by the mind or impression on the mind. This refers to the preparatory signs. This is the concentration object, which one has been focused or reflected on at the point of precise discernment, where a person develops a vivid mental impression on that object. Take the example. One focuses on a kasina disc until the impression is imprinted in the mind and visible even with the eyes shut. The third is patibhaga nimitta, a virtual counterpart, an approximate sign. This image is similar to the learning signs, but is more deeply impressed on the mind to the point where it arises out of perception of the person in state of concentration. It is pure, for example, free from any color and stainless, and the person is able to expand or contract on any aspect of this image at will. The first 2 kinds of nimittas are accessible through all concentration techniques, but the third kind, patibhaga nimitta, is only accessible through the 22 technique, which have material object as focus, that is, the 10 kasina meditations. The 10 meditations on foulness, recollection of the body, and mindfulness of the breath. The term bhavana means cultivation, refers to practicing concentration technique or to developing concentration. The 3 stages of concentration developments are as follows. Patikama bhavana, the initial stage of development, is to focus on and obtain a preliminary image of an object. For example, one gazes at a kasina disc, focuses on the in and out breath at the tip of the nose, or reflects on Gautama Buddha's virtues inherent in oneself. Simply speaking, one focuses on the preparatory signs on the concentration object. When one sustains this focus to the point of gaining an accurate mental impression on the object, a learning sign arises. The mind attains an initial stage of concentration, which is called preparatory concentration or momentary concentration. Now, upachara bhavana is the access development. One relies on preparatory concentrations to sustain one's focus on the learning signs. until the signs becomes firmly established in the mind, and there arises a counterpart. The mental hindrances subsides. With concentration technique not focused on the material object, there is no counterpart signs. One simply reflects on the meditation object and concentrates on it until the hindrances subside. The mind is established in access concentration. This is the highest stage of sense fear concentration. The third is attainment development, upana pavana. One continually cultivates the counterpart signs while in the access concentration, protecting it so that it does not fade or disappear by avoiding unsuitable places, people, and food, and by associating with suitable things. One knows which methods helps to generate attainment concentration. Take the example by sustaining one's focus in the optimum way. In the end, a person reaches attainment concentration, appana samadhi, and enters the first jhana, which is the initial stage of fine material concentration, rupa vachara samadhi. With many concentration techniques, the object of concentration is extremely subtle. There is no material objects to focus on or to contact physically, and thus the image of the object does not become clear enough. The mind is unsuitable and concentrated and absorbed for long. Such techniques do not give rise to the counterpart sign and only lead to the level of access concentration. With technique using a coarse object, which can be seen clearly and physically contracted, on the other hand, the mind can be concentrated for a long period of time. These techniques give rise to the counterpart sign and lead to attainment concentration. An exception to this is the meditation on the four unbounded states of the mind, apamana, the divine abidings, the Brahma Viharas. The concentration does not use a distinct material object as a focus for attention and does not give rise to the counterpart sign. But because sentient beings are the focus of attention, this concentration provides a clear enough image to lead to the attainment concentration. With the attainment of the first jhana, the next step is develop proficiency in regard to the first jhana, and to make an effort in order to attain the other jhanas in turn, within the limits of attainment possible by each specific concentration technique. In this way, a person realizes the appropriate fruits of tranquility meditation, what is called samatha. 18.6J, mindfulness of breathing as an example of meditation practice. Having described general principles of meditation practice, it seems appropriate now to give examples of how to develop a specific technique. Of the 40 meditation techniques, the one chosen here is the meditation on the in and the out breath, anapanasati. Now it has like different parts, so I'm going to just read the first part today. Special attributes of mindfulness of breathing. And then we'll pick up on the next one, on 2. But there are many reasons for choosing concentration on breathing. Remember, meditation is an awareness or a focus concentration. So a lot of people think or get it wrong when they hear meditation. It is a very convenient method for developing concentration as it uses the breathing, which is a natural part of every person's life. This concentration can be practiced at any time and any place. It is not necessary to prepare any concentration tools as the case for kasina concentration. It uses a material object, the breath, as the object of attention, which is adequately clear for the mind's focus. The breath is not as subtle as those immaterial phenomena used in other concentration techniques, which can be brought to mind by way of perception, sanya. This practice is also very simple and does not require an analysis of phenomenon as is the cause with, say, a concentration on elements. All a person needs to do is to be mindful of the breath, the in and the out breath. Those people whose minds are tired from thinking a lot can practice mindfulness of breathing without difficulty. A person derives benefits from this practice from the very start. One needs not wait until one achieves specific levels of concentration. The body becomes relaxed, rested, and the mind experiences progressively deeper levels of peace. Unskillful mental states are eliminated and skillful states are enhanced. This concentration is not detrimental to the physical health as confirmed by Gautama Buddha's own experience. When I dwelled frequently in this abiding of concentration by mindfulness of breathing, my body was not fatigued. My eyes were not tired. This is unlike other meditation techniques which entail standing, walking, or gazing at a meditation object. On the contrary, concentration on breathing improves a person's physical health by providing the body with the opportunity to rest and by balancing, regulating, and refining the entire system of breathing. Think of someone who is running or climbing a hill, or someone who is frightened or angry. His breath will be more rapid than normal. Sometimes breathing through the nose is not enough, and the person needs to breathe through the mouth as well. On the other hand, the breathing of someone whose body is relaxed and whose mind is at ease is more subtle and fine. Mindfulness of breathing calms the body, and the mind gradually refines the breath to the point where the breath becomes almost imperceptible. The body then is in a state of well-being and relies on a minimal amount of energy consumed. The body is refreshed. The aging process is slowed down, and a person is able to work for a while at the same time requiring less rest. It is one of the only 12 types of concentration results in the highest levels of concentration up to the fourth jhana and lead to the formless jhanas up to the attainment of nirodha samapatti, attainment of sensation. Mindfulness of breathing is considered a cardinal and complete form of concentration. One does not need worry about finding another technique to alternate or combine with. This is confirmed by Gautama the Buddha. Therefore, if a monk wishes, may I enter and dwell in the fourth jhana, he should closely attend to this same concentration by mindfulness of breathing. If a monk wishes, may I completely transcend the base of nothingness and enter and dwell in the base of neither perception nor non-perception. May I completely transcend the fourth base of neither perception or non-perception and enter the dwell in the cessation of perception as feeling. He should closely attend to the same concentration by mindfulness of breathing. It can be used for both tranquility meditation, samatha, and for insight meditation, vipassana. One practices mindfulness of breathing with the sole wish of reaching concentration attainment jhanas. Or one can use it as the basis for developing all four foundations of mindfulness, satipatthana. It fully enables a concentrated mind to be the field of practice for wisdom. It is the way for developing concentration. Highly praised by Gautama Buddha, who often encouraged the monks to practice mindfulness of breathing. Gautama Buddha himself often applied this practice as a mental binding, vihara dhamma, both before and after his awakening. Monks, this cultivations of concentration by mindfulness of breathing, when developed and cultivated, is peaceful and sublime. A refreshing, pleasant abiding, and it dispels the quarrels, rights to the spots of evil, unwholesome states of mind, whenever they arise, just as the last month of the hot season, when a mass of dust and dirt has swirled up, a great rain cloud out of the season disperses it and coils it onto the spot. So too, concentration by mindfulness of breathing dispels and curls the spot evil, unwholesome states wherever they arise. Monks, speaking rightly, one should say that concentration by mindfulness of breathing is a noble abiding, a divine abiding, tataka kata abiding. Those monks who are trainees, sikhas, who have not attained the fruit of arihatship, who aspire to unsurpassed security and well-being. For them, concentration by mindfulness of breathing, when developed and cultivated, leads to the destruction of the mental asavas, the taints. Those monks who are arihats, whose asavas are destroyed, for them, concentration by mindfulness of breathing, when developed and cultivated, leads to a pleasant abiding in the present moment and to the mindfulness and clear comprehension. Monks, it has so happened that before my awakening, while I was still a bodhisattva, not yet fully enlightened, I frequently dwelt in this abiding of concentration by mindfulness of breathing. While I frequently dwelt in this abiding, neither my body nor my eyes became fatigued, and my mind, by not clinging, was liberated from these taints. Therefore, monks, if a monk wishes, may neither my body nor my eyes become fatigued. May my mind, by not clinging, be liberated from the taints. The same concentration of mindfulness of breathing should be closely attended to. On the occasion of the Blessed One was dwelling in Ichanagala wood, near the town of Ichanagala in Bharat. There the Blessed One addressed the monks thus: Monks, I wish to go into seclusion for 3 months. I should not be approached by anyone except for the monk who brings me alms food. Then, for those 3 months has passed, the Blessed One emerged from seclusion and addressed the monks thus: Monks, if wanderers of other sects, of Jainas and Hindus, ask you, in what abiding the ascetic Gautama primary dwell during the rain residence, avasa, being thus asked, you should answer the wanderers of Jainas and Hindus thus: during the rain's residence, the vasa, friends, the Blessed One dwelt primarily in the concentration of mindfulness of breathing. Concentration by mindfulness of breathing, ananta, is key. When developed and cultivated, it fulfills the 4 foundations of mindfulness, satipatthana. The 4 foundations of mindfulness, when developed and cultivated, fulfill the 7 factors of enlightenment, sambojana. The 7 factors of enlightenment, when cultivated, fulfill the true knowledge and liberation. Rahula, when mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated in this way, even the final in-breaths and out-breaths are known as they cease, not unknown. Now I'm going to leave off of there on 18.6 J, and we will pick J1. We'll pick up on 18.6 J2 the Buddha's words describing mindfulness of breathing. On the next one, Buddha Dhamma,